Welcome back to the Sort of Success Weekly podcast. Quick tips to grow your business using speaking. My guest today is Sandra Clark, a LinkedIn specialist and founder of LinkedIn Mentoring. Hi, Sandra. So glad to have you with me today.
I'm delighted to be here. It's a hot one here.
Oh, is it really? And where exactly are you?
I'm in San Jose, California.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And we're not used to it, so we don't have air conditioning. So we're wimps. What can I say?
Oh, no. Well, why don't you go ahead and tell our listeners what you do?
So I help busy professionals set up their LinkedIn profiles to look great, and then I teach them how to use LinkedIn to get the results they want. The results might be a new job, it might be to grow their business, or it might be to be seen as a thought leader. And I specialize in what I call social media for the socially reluctant.
Okay.
So I especially love working with people that they just want to do their job. They want to get back to doing that, but they know they need to look good on LinkedIn. It's important, but they just hate to spend the time doing that. And they're not really comfortable putting themselves out there online and promoting themselves. But we all have to do that nowadays.
Yes, absolutely. So how do you use speaking to grow your business and get new clients?
Well, about 4 or 5 years ago, I read stuff, I heard stuff that it was a really great idea to use speaking to grow your business. So I decided that I would do that and set a goal of 12 speaking engagements for that year, and put the word out that I was willing and able to do that. And one led to the other, and I ended up doing 24
Oh
speaking
my gosh.
engagements. So I doubled it.
You
Now
blew
I was
that
totally
goal out of the water.
I just said yes to everybody. Any groups. I was not discriminating about it. I did decide that I wanted to use this speaking to grow my mailing list, that was my primary goal, because I like building relationships with people. That's how I use LinkedIn, and my newsletter every couple of weeks is a way of showing them I'm an expert, building that relationship. So when they have a need, they'll come to me for help or refer someone. So that first year was a little said yes to everyone. Not all the groups were suitable for potential clients. But the next year, I set the same goal, but I was going to maybe have less speaking, but more strategic about where I spoke. I would still do some pro bono work because, it's important to give back to job seeker groups and whatever. Who knows, they might need me in the future and have the money for it. But I was a little more strategic with who I spoke to. And that year, my business really grew. I got a lot of clients from that. And what a benefit I hadn't really thought about, they send out their mailing, newsletters, their websites, their marketing for their meetings. And so my name was in all of those newsletters and on their websites. And I got a lot of great visibility from it. And so I started getting far more clients nationally and even internationally.
Wow.
So it was great. And this year I decided, you know what? I don't want to travel to my speaking engagements too much anymore unless it's really worthwhile. I mean, it's really a chunk of day. You travel there. Our traffic here is terrible. The time there, and then you travel back, and then you're kind of mentally in the wrong space to get back to work. So I said, okay, I'm going to do mostly online. Well, I did not intend for, the COVID crisis to make everybody online. But I've been doing about the same number of speaking engagements online. It's a little trickier. I can't as easily collect names of people, but I invite them to connect with me on LinkedIn. I offer help. I have offers for them, but I find the quality of the people reaching out to me is higher. So my conversion rate to clients is actually even better. Fewer in number, but better success rate. So it's been great.
Yeah, no kidding. So let's go back to where you were speaking in person. So what was your strategy then? Did you have a piece of paper that you collected the email addresses on, or one of those texts to join, or how did you use that?
Text to join. Didn't know about that then, but primarily, I tried the thing with, just hand a piece of paper around if you'd like to be on my mailing list or something. Very few people will fill that in. There needs to be some incentive. So I decided to offer a drawing. and the winner would receive a free written evaluation of their LinkedIn profile, which is worth probably at least $100.
Yeah.
And so they were very eager to do that. They signed up, which was giving me permission to mail them.
Yes.
And that was how I grew my list. And, so I would write to them. I would thank them for joining the list, ask them if there was any help. And then I regularly send out a newsletter every 2 weeks, which has been my primary way of really building my business to supplement the speaking. It's no good just doing speaking and then just letting it drop.
Yeah.
You've got to actually follow up with them. So I made that offer, and that made people sign up. Online, I don't find that works well. So I'm still exploring what works most effectively online.
Mhm.
If I go back to speaking in person, I would probably do something similar.
Yes. So the people that would sign up for your free LinkedIn profile assessment. So did they all follow through with it then when you followed up to schedule it with them?
The winner, so it's only the winner that got
Only
that.
one winner. Oh, okay.
And this was a very large group, and I might do too.
Yeah.
It was an interesting thing. Often the person who won it, in one way you might say that they really needed it because they either had really lousy profiles or maybe no profile at all. They were just getting started. And so really, I was a little too high powered octane for their tank.
Yeah.
So some did, often they didn't. For me, I would like them to follow up. I mean, I'm a teacher. I want to teach, so it's much more rewarding if people follow up. So some did, some didn't. And then the people who didn't win, were interested, could they get that evaluation? Because it's not something that a written evaluation, I did not offer that to as a regular service. That was special for my speaking engagements.
Mm-hmm. So did you follow up with the people that joined your email list one time after the session then, just to thank them for signing up for your list? And then after that, they just got all the rest of the newsletter?
Absolutely. Always one time, at least, with a special, maybe I talked about something in particular, if it was a group of small business owners, and I talked about some specific resources for them. So always one follow-up. Depending on the size of the group, it might be an additional follow-up, especially if it's a group that I knew quite well.
Yeah.
And, so I might follow up. It's like, okay, did you follow through? Did you change your headline? If you did, let me know. I'd be happy to take a look at it. So I might do another one. And then primarily it would go into my twice weekly mailing. It would have been better to do probably more follow-up, but you can only take on so much.
Yeah.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yes, exactly. And so then how did you get clients from this then?
The people who were on my email list were constantly reminded of me. I pretty much never sell in my newsletters. I mean, besides saying, if you want to book with me, here's how. It's always educational, tips, tricks using LinkedIn, and also all the changes. This last month, there being like 20 changes in just the last month, about 40 in the last 3 months. Even I can't keep on top of it.
Wow.
It's ridiculous, but just helpful. So I'm in their mind. So if they need help and decide to come back for help, it would be to me. But it's also often referrals. Somebody's talking about, I know I need to do something with my LinkedIn profile, but I really feel a little lost. I don't know what to do. It's like, I know just the person. Yeah. Because although there are a lot of people that do what I do, most people seem to think, I didn't even know there was somebody that did what you did. Yeah. So it would just that constant being in their minds as an expert resource. That's primarily, I'm sure there are other things, and I'm sure you teach other kinds of things that people can do to take advantage of that. But that was where I got started.
Yeah. And do you use webinars now too?
Webinars of my own? No, I looked into doing that. And I confess I just felt overwhelmed. I mean, I even took some training about how to do it, the process. I signed up for some things to see what they did, the process of emails. And it seems so much work to get people registered in the program that I love it. Besides, I mean, it's great because I would collect all the names then, but I love doing other people's webinars. They do all the work, they get the people. I just show up.
Yes. And so that's like a speaking engagement for you then.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. So of the speaking engagements that you've done this year, what % of those are like other people's webinars versus you speaking to a meeting that's meeting virtually?
Majority are speaking to a group, like International Coaching Federation, the Iowa chapter, or some group like that.
Mm-hmm.
So majority groups, um, a certain number, maybe a quarter, are like interviews, webinars, podcasts,
Yes.
like more this kind of format,
Yeah.
or perhaps taking people through best practices, things they could do, but not speaking to a group.
Yeah. Okay. And how do you find your speaking engagements where you are the speaker for a meeting, either live or now virtual?
When I first started, it was largely through groups I belonged to, and
Mm-hmm.
I would put the word out. And it sort of started from there. Once I started with one, they would say, come up to me afterwards and say, oh, are you willing to speak? And they would ask me for another. So it kind of grew by itself. And now
That's how you know you're really good at it.
it's a good sign.
Yeah.
And I discovered I loved it. I mean, if I was just asked myself, oh, Sandra, go stand and talk about yourself or something, it's like, oh, no, let me curl up in a corner or something. But tell me to teach people, to help people, and I can speak to thousands with no problems because it's not about me, it's about them. And
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. But most of the time, people come to me. They ask if I'm willing and interested. Occasionally, there's a group that I might be interested in because I think they're a really good target for me and I might reach out to them, but I'm mostly reactive. I don't know if that's bad or good, but it kind of gets me about 2 a month, and
Yeah.
that's probably about as much as I want to do.
Yeah. Well, that's perfect. Great. So, do you feel uncomfortable during a presentation making an offer for a program that you have, or letting people know about it, having them sign up for a free consultation?
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah, that might be after you said that.
um, I mean, even when I'm talking, I'm doing a consultation, and you have to get to that point of saying what the cost is, the investment. I had to practice that a lot. So during a speaking engagement, when I was going to make an offer, I had to practice that. I took some training. I think you've got to take training to do that. You need someone to advise you how to do it, how to position it. And just the simple practice, getting up and regularly saying that, that helped a lot. And so I did get to the point where I could
Yeah.
make that offer fairly comfortably. But initially, oh, heck no.
And so, do you do that in addition to the contest drawing that you have for the review?
I did at times. Now with the online format, I am not. I need to rethink that whole thing, what kind of offer to make. And I haven't figured that out yet, to be honest.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, thank you. That's great insight. So, one thing I always ask everyone that's on this podcast is, what are 3 traits that you think people need to have in order to be able to use speaking as a tactic to grow their business?
I think you need to feel that you have something to say that people need. And if you believe that, you can get over your shyness, your lack of speaking skills, because you have a message. You can learn all the other stuff. You can learn how to improve your speaking, but you've got to believe that. So that would be one, believe in what you have to offer. The other would be willing to get help, advice. I think everybody has got to do some kind of training. You need that expert advice on doing it better.
Yeah.
And the third thing would be maybe you've got to believe that in yourself. And that can take some coaching too.
Yeah.
You've got to have some confidence, not in everything, but at least in this thing, which kind of relates to my number one, but it's a little bit different.
Yeah, exactly. Great. Well, thank you. So, how can people reach you and learn more about what you have to offer?
I'd love for them to reach out to me on LinkedIn, Sandra Clark, and I'm pretty easy to find. My website is linkedinmentoring.com. And on my website, I have all kinds of blogs, articles about LinkedIn, and you can search by topic. You can ask me to be on my newsletter list, and you can email me at sandra@linkedinmentoring.com, or follow me on Facebook. I love to hear from people, however they like to reach out.
Okay, excellent. Well, thanks again. I really appreciate you taking the time today.
My pleasure. Delightful talking with you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Soar to Success, Grow Your Business with Speaking weekly podcast. For more information about using speaking as a marketing strategy, visit pataltvader.com.